Hey there, Dad Hargrave from Marketing for Hippies. I'm standing still for once. Today's video is about branding for healers. And I had a conversation with a colleague of mine in the UK, or a client, I guess. She was booking a puttering session. And she does branding work for healers. And I said something that occurred to me that might be useful for some of you. Of course, there's a lot of mixed feelings about marketing, about branding, about creating a persona, a kind of posturing approach to marketing, where we're trying to pretend we're something that we're not, or more together than we are, or you get the idea. So what do we do instead of this? Especially if you're a healer, where the whole thought of marketing oneself as a healer feels so anathema. Here's what occurs to me. If you're a healer or a life coach or somewhere in that vein, the chances are that you got into this work because of something that happened to you, or maybe never happened to you. This idea that our deepest wounds are often a doorway to our truest niche. And I've done a video about that. I'll see if I can remember to put the link below. But so our deepest wounds are often a doorway to our truest niche. So that's thought number one. So you could imagine that everyone who got into this work of some sort of healing or restoration of the world probably did so because they were, if you could imagine, branded by life. Yeah, that life marked them in some way. And I think this idea of brand, it's interesting. We talk about branding in terms of marketing, but of course branding would be you take a hot metal something and you put a mark on something. And that lets people know the provenance of that thing, who made it, or who owned the animal, or whatever the brand is put on. There's a mark. I believe it's called a tamga in the art of Japanese knife making. Forgive me if I've got that wrong. But there's the maker's mark. You can see who made the knife. And so in a similar way, healers are made by these experiences. Healers are made by these painful events they go through. Their ability to help people put themselves back together comes because they were torn apart. So when I think about branding for healers, I think about it like this. What if the branding isn't about manufacturing something, is not about creating an image, but revealing the image that was emblazoned on you by life? So what if branding for healers was much more an act of vulnerability and revelation than creation? What if it was the willingness to show, either explicitly or implicitly, I have been marked and branded by life. I came by this honestly. The School of Hard Knocks. Here's my diploma. I'm trying to think of another way to say it. Yeah, I went through something and it left its mark on me. If you fought a wild animal, it would leave marks on you. Yeah, there'd be the claw marks there for the rest of your life because you faced off against that one. And that'd be your proof. Somebody says, "Oh, what do you know about fighting wild animals? What do you know about surviving in the wild?" Well, let me show you what I know. A lot of ceremonies do this too. You are physically scarred or marked in some way. So then branding for healers is about letting the scars show. There's this etymology of the word sincere. Now this may be a folk etymology, this may not be accurate, but it's one possible rendering of the word. In ancient Rome, of course, or Greece maybe, but I think this is a Latin word, so say Rome. They used a lot of marble. Now there's different qualities of marble. Some of it is very fine grit, Yeah, and this is what Michelangelo's David is carved out of, which I believe is called travertine, and you can put a lot of detail into it. And some of it's much coarser, so if you hit it, a whole chunk can come off, if you hit it wrong. Or even if you hit it right. So you get these huge marble columns, and they would have holes in them, because you can't make a whole column out of the good stuff. You save that for the sculpture. So a way was figured out to fill the holes so you wouldn't notice. They would take beeswax, and they'd mix it with the dust of that particular marble, and people who were very skillful in this could put it in, and at least from a distance you couldn't tell that there'd ever been a hole. And so the Latin word for wax is ceres, C-E-R-E-S, and the word for without is sin, S-I-N. So to be sincere could be to let the holes show. Amazing thought, hey? That we think we have to have some really fancy, expensive brand, logo, look, design that requires a certain amount of wealth. What I'm saying is that the most compelling move you can do is to reveal your poverties. Yeah, to reveal the things that never happened for you, or the things that cost you and impoverished you, that later then became the source of your wealth, of your ability to heal. It's a compelling thought for me. Maybe it is for you as well. So when I think about branding for healers, I really don't think about it as an act of creation. I think about it as an act of revelation. I don't think about it as dressing up. I think about it as a kind of willingness to disrobe to a certain extent. So, there you go. I hope you liked this video. If you did, wouldn't the most vulnerable thing be to share this video? Reveal to all your friends that you've been watching this strange man's video. This is me helping you be vulnerable. You're welcome. So you can share it, of course. Thank you for everyone who does share these videos. Thank you for everyone who subscribes to this channel. It's amazing to see the numbers keep going up. Thank you, everyone. MarketingForHippies.com is my website. And you can go and watch a video of me on the homepage from about 12 years ago. So you can check that out and sign up for my email newsletter. I'm also on Facebook, Marketing for Hippies. I think that's it. Thank you so much, everyone. Hope you're doing well out there.